1 second. Oh yeah. Wait, did you get this started?
Yeah, I got it started.
Okay.
And we are live.
I'd like to welcome you to the Current Veteran Oral Project. I'm John, that's Liam, and we are in the American Recording Studio. This is October 3rd, 2012. And your name is?
Pete Baack, B-A-A-C-K.
When was your birthday?
125-27.
And what wars and branch did you serve in?
South Pacific in the Navy.
Okay. What was your highest rank while you were in the service?
I was a boatswain mate, 3rd class.
What did you do while you were down in the South Pacific?
When I was on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the boatswain mates are the ones that blow these whistles and make all the announcements on the loudspeaker on the ship. That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I was a whistleblower.
Song.
No, not really.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
No, I enlisted.
Why did you enlist?
Well, in the early 40s and mid 40s, as soon as you turned 18, you belonged to Uncle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You had no choice. So I got out of high school when I was 17 and enlisted shortly after so I could choose my branch of service. So I went in the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Where were you living at the time?
In Sioux City, Iowa,
Why did you join?
because I had to.
Okay.
And I wanted to, actually, so.
Okay. Why did you pick the Navy?
Well, I didn't want to go in the Army. And so I thought, well, I had a brother that was in the Navy. So I decided to go in the Navy as well.
Yeah, do you recall your first days in the service?
I'm sorry?
Do you recall your first days in the service?
My first days? Well, the first days were in boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois. So we spent like 6 weeks in training.
How was that?
How was it? It was okay. We learned what we were supposed to be doing later on. So.
Do you remember your instructors?
No,
No.
that was a long time ago.
How did you get through the boot camp?
Pardon me?
How did you get through the boot camp?
By train from Sioux City.
When your training was over, where exactly did you go afterwards?
After the boot camp,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Honolulu, the island of Oahu, for 6 months. Terrible duty. Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like arriving?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember what it was like arriving at Honolulu?
When I arrived? No, not exactly, no.
Did you see any combat?
Well, not really. The Germany has already surrendered by that time. And the Japanese surrendered in, I think it was like November of 45. So we were still under wartime, whatever, but no, I've not really seen any actual combat, no.
Do you have any memorable experiences while you were in the Navy?
Well, I spent about 1.5 years in China, which wasn't very memorable, but when I got aboard the ship, probably the best thing I had was we went down to Sydney, Australia, and spent 10 days in Sydney. And we tied up at the dock at the harbor, which is pretty unusual because normally we're out at sea about 10 miles because the ship's big, we can't get in. But that was deep enough, and we pulled right in and tied up at the dock. But we had like an open house for the civilians and people of Australia, so they'd come aboard and look at the ship. And it was thousands and thousands and thousands of people came in there. But they didn't have full run. They had restricted areas that they couldn't go to. And then we had a ball, so we could bring companions aboard ship, and we had a dance, and we had a big layout of food, and so we kind of wined and dined the people in Sydney. So it was quite a thing.
Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Well, just yeah, I had the occupational forces, Asia Pacific. I don't know, World War II medal, of course. But I don't know. I remember a couple of other ones, but yeah.
What rank were you?
Rank?
Mm-hmm.
I was a bosun mate.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family?
By mail. Yeah, we could write letters back and forth.
Mm-hmm. What was the food like? Do you remember?
Oh, it was great. On the carrier, it was great. But while I was in China, it was terrible. But when I finally got aboard a ship, why, we had great food.
Yeah, and China wasn't exactly Chinese food.
Well, we didn't even have a mess hall. We had to eat C rations and K rations.
Mm-hmm.
That were warmed up, and we had to eat outside in the middle of the winter because we had no place to eat it.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. So I was very happy to get out of there.
Did you have plenty of supplies?
I'm sorry?
Did you have plenty of supplies while you were on board?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The carriers are very well supplied, stocked.
Did you feel any pressure or stress?
No, not really.
Was there something like a ritual or something you did for good luck?
They did for what?
For good luck?
Good luck? No, not really.
How did you guys entertain yourselves on your free time?
What? No. What
How
did I do?
Yeah, for entertainment.
Well, on your aboard ship, we have movies you can go to, and we had a recreation area. You could play ping pong and things like that. You're pretty limited to where to go when you're out at sea. So.
Mm-hmm. What did you do when on leave, or were you ever on leave?
I had one leave, yes, and I just came back to Sioux City and spent my time. Then I had to report back to San Francisco, and then from there I went to Bremerton, Washington to get on the ship. The ship was at Bremerton at that time was a ammunition depot, and the ship was up there loading up ammunition. So they sent me up, sent me up there by train, and then that's when I got aboard the ship.
Okay. Where did you travel to while you were in service?
Where did I
Travel to?
travel? Well, I went to Honolulu. From there I went to China, and I came home on leave. Now I got aboard the ship, and we went to Sydney, Australia. And we were supposed to go from there to Japan and around, but we were the flagship, which meant we were the top ship of the whole fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they took the flag from us and put it on the other carrier, so they sent us back to the United States, and we put the ship out of commission.
Oh.
So,
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual events?
no, not really. Everything was pretty cool.
Okay. Would you guys pull pranks on each other or anything?
Am I?
Would you and your sailor mates pull pranks on each other or anything?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Would you guys pull pranks on each other, or just jokes to pass the time?
Can you help me out?
Like, he means, like, did you play, like, jokes on your friends?
Oh. Well, yeah, when we crossed the equator, there was all kinds of things going on. Before you go across the equator, you're a pollywog.
Mm-hmm.
And after you cross the equator, then you become a shellback. Well, we sat there for a whole day, and it's a whole day of initiations. So you do all kinds of things. I mean, it's unbelievable. So yeah, that was a riot.
Do you have any photographs with you?
Oh yeah, I gave them to the guys over there.
Okay.
I had 4 or 5 books and my most prized, I think, is I have a newspaper that was printed when we were in Sydney, Australia, which was printed in 1947, and I still have that paper. And it pretty much covers the night that we had the big dance and the food, and the whole paper is pretty much about that. Cause this is the biggest ship that ever been in this Sydney Harbor at the time. So the people just went nuts trying to get aboard and see it. So thousands and thousands of people.
What did you think or feel about the officers or other soldiers on board?
About it?
Like, what did you think about all the other officers or
My officers?
soldiers? Yes.
Oh, they were fine. Yeah, I was considered a petty officer, so you know, I got along with everybody.
Did you have any favorites?
No.
Did you keep a personal diary?
Somewhat, but just for a short time. I did-
Did you serve in any other wars besides World War II?
No.
No. Do you recall the day your service ended?
When I entered,
Ended.
ended. Mine was in November of 1947.
Okay. Where were you when the war officially ended?
Well, when Japan surrendered, I was in Honolulu.
Do you remember what you were doing?
What I did?
Yeah, what you were doing.
Well, we went to the beer garden and got drunk.
Here you go.
Okay, you got everything?
No, they're still doing some more, but if
Okay.
you want to talk about those really quickly
Oh.
while they're getting the other.
Okay. Well, I talked to you about this newspaper. That's what this is. It's you see, that's the ship and all the people that are wanting to get aboard.
Yeah.
it's very fragile. So. And these are pictures of the ship I was on, the Shangri-La, was involved in when they dropped the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And these are some pictures of the bomb when it.
Do you mind?
Sure.
Are these pictures you took?
No, I bought these, but these shows how much force there was behind that thing.
A lot.
I also have a book about the whole thing, how they prepared the island, and from step one all the way through the whole thing. I have that book as well.
So this was the atom bomb?
Yeah, the atom bomb, when they dropped, what was on the actually Bikini.
Yeah.
They call it the Bikini Atoll. So
That's
it was quite a thing. Did you want to see these two?
Oh man, that's something.
Yeah.
That's. Oh, is that a
What did you do in the days after or weeks after the war?
Well, I went home and tried to find a job. When I got out, there really wasn't hardly any jobs available. So from Sioux City, I went to Chicago and went to refrigeration school and came home, and I still couldn't find a job. So I finally got some work. And I ended up being, I went into sheet metal. I went to serve 4-year apprenticeship in the sheet metal so I could make all this stuff, out of sheet metal that you see all over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I learned to make after 4 years of night school. And I did that for 38 years.
Okay. Do you remember how long it took for you to get back home?
About 36 days.
Okay. Did you come home to Kern County, or where did you live?
No, in Iowa, Sioux City. Well, we landed in, we went into San Diego, and then from there we went up to Frisco, and that's where we put the ship out of commission. And then I came home to Sioux City.
Okay. Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
I'm sorry?
Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
What, when you went to school, like, did you go to college?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I could have went to college, and they would have paid me for 4 years. But I thought, well, I've got to make some money. So and it worked out okay. Once I got my sheet metal apprenticeship, it was good.
Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
No.
No. Have you joined any veterans organizations?
Well, yeah, I belonged to the VFW, and I belonged to the American Legion for quite a long time. And I got out of it, but I'm thinking about reinstating the American Legion as well.
Okay. What kind of like events do they have at the?
At VFW now? Well, they have different things. Sometimes they have dinners and entertainment, and nothing really special. Just the idea of belonging to these organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do a lot for we do a lot for people.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or military or anything?
No.
Do you attend any reunions?
I'm sorry?
Any reunions?
For the Navy reunions?
Yeah.
No. No.
Okay. Any high school reunions?
Just high school stuff. We had school reunions, but no.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
I'm sorry.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Well, I think what it does, the service teaches you discipline and respect, and so when you get out, you still have that. You live your whole life with discipline and respect. So, yep.
Is there anything else you would like to add to the interview?
Not that I can think of. I guess we pretty well covered it.
What ship were you on? What ship were you on?
Oh, the Shangri-La, CV-38. It's a carrier.
You said you were a part of VFW.
Yes, I'm.
What does that stand for? Can you clarify that?
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Well, I think that just wraps it up.
That's it?
Wraps it up.
Okay.
Good job.
Good job.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
Watch your step there when you get down.
Yeah, I will.